So Mary Jane is Venom now.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. So there was a lot of debate over who the new Venom was because Marvel Comics just can't get with it that fans prefer things to stay the way they are. We like Eddie Brock as Venom. I didn't even really like Mac Gargan's run as Venom. I know that a lot of people thought, oh yeah, he was a good alternative to Eddie Brock. The only time I thought he was any good in that position was when he was with the Dark Avengers. Outside of that, not crazy about it. So when Venom started popping up again, because I guess Eddie Brock is off doing something else, people were kind of confused, and there was even suspicion that it might be Mary Jane's new boyfriend, Paul, I think is his name. And I always thought it's kind of funny because Paul looks exactly like the writer of these trash Amazing Spider-Man stories that are coming out. So I wouldn't have put it past him. Yeah, he gets to, you know, date Peter Parker's former wife and then also be his worst enemy. However, they revealed this twist. They subverted your expectations. Paul isn't Venom, it is Mary Jane. If you don't believe me, I'll put an official image from Marvel Comics on the screen for a few minutes so you can absorb it as well. So yeah, Marvel Comics, their team of writers and their artists, they're all creatively bankrupt. They're done. It's over. They cannot keep doing this to the fans and then wonder why their comics are selling poorly because we all know that they are. Sure, they'll get a little bit of boost whenever they relaunch it again. Oh, it's issue 1 all over again. They'll keep doing that, or they'll ride the coattails of the new Ultimate Spider-Man, and eventually not even those things will be able to carry this character, kind of what happened with DC Comics and Batman, where they made Catwoman a better crime fighter than Batman. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it wasn't Batman, it was actually Failsafe the whole time. Of course. Anyway, they're not willing to put Peter Parker and Mary Jane back together, not even as boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're going to make her Venom. They are nuts. They are insane. I cannot even believe that this is a real thing that is happening. It is ridiculous and it is stupid. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. In the TV show Ultimate Spider-Man, where Peter Parker was voiced by Drake Bell, in that show, Mary Jane got possessed by the Carnage symbiote, and she became Spider-Woman in that show for a while. Now, why didn't I have a problem with it then? Well, actually, I did. I didn't really care for it, but that show was kind of known for being zany. I mean, just watch the Ultimate Deadpool episode. That's all you need to see from that show, and you'll get an idea of the tone. Now, also, Spider-Man 2 in the video game by Sony, Mary Jane gets possessed by the Scream symbiote, and they have like this battle, and all of her anger and resentment and all the negativity in their relationship comes out when the symbiote possesses her, and they have a battle, and then Spider-Man is able to free her, of course. It has happened before, and in okay context and some not okay context. Here, I think that this is a bad context. For one thing, they don't even make her look like a she-Venom. So I'll put an image. Eddie Brock's girlfriend for a while, she gets possessed by the Venom symbiote and she becomes she-Venom, and they actually make her, look like a woman. Mary Jane looks like this big, bulky, hulked out individual when the symbiote is covering her. And I don't know why they did that. It's this weird thing in comics where they don't want their women to be feminine anymore, and they want their men to be effeminate. They want them to be soy boys who are not as good as the women, who they're overly emotional and they can't be tempered, or they're super impatient. They want that kind of thing, but they don't want the women to be beautiful and graceful and smart and able to figure things out. They want them to be like men. They want their manliness. They want them to be more masculine. And this image of Mary Jane possessed by the Venom symbiote just encapsulates that. And I think it's highly embarrassing that Marvel went this route. Oh, no, no, no. We're not allowed to have Peter Parker and Mary Jane back together and married, even though the comic book where they're in a different universe and that's happening is is selling really well. We don't want that. You stupid fans don't know what you want. We know what you actually want. We know that you want Spider-Man to actually be with Black Cat, even though we made her a lesbian for no reason, but now they're back together. Oh no, we're not going to put him back with Silk. What that would actually make sense. We're not going to do that because now she's separated. She wasn't even part of Spider-Man to begin with. What are you talking about? That is the attitude they are having. They think that they are better than you. They think that all these new trendy writers who weren't even around doing comic books while you were collecting them, that they know better than you. And it's just so dumb and it's so stupid and it's so arrogant. And they are going to keep losing fans that way. And I know this is a different topic, but I just want to bring it up briefly at the end because they're saying Mary Jane might be introduced in this film. They named Spider-Man 4, so the fourth Spider-Man film featuring Tom Holland, they named it Brand New Day. That was an insult to you. One More Day initially had some promise where it was going to reboot Spider-Man because he revealed his identity in Civil War. And so Mephisto, who's the representation of the devil in the Marvel Universe, alters reality where people have forgotten who Spider-Man is. It brought back characters back to life, like Norman Osborn, like Aunt May. And then it also erased Spider-Man's marriage to Mary Jane in perpetuity. And the follow up to that was Brand New Day. And it was stupid. It was a lame attempt to capitalize on an initially interesting premise, and they kept dropping hints that Mary Jane and Peter Parker were going to get back together, and they didn't, of course. They've kept this trend going for years now. So now they're going to name the fourth Spider-Man movie Brand New Day. This, like I said, this is an insult to Spider-Man fans. This is ridiculous. It is petty. And I honestly think that this will hurt the movie, even if the trailer is good, because I overall like the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I know it's kind of controversial for a YouTuber to say, but I actually kind of like them. I liked how No Way Home concluded. I thought the Doctor Strange method of having people forget Peter Parker instead of Spider-Man, I thought that that was a good way to explain that away, and I like the new premise going forward, but I have now concerns just because of that title, Brand New Day. That is an insult. It's a slap in the face to every fan who wants Peter Parker to get back to basics, who want him restored. And I think that it is awful that they are denying fans access to a story arc that would probably win Marvel Studios and Disney millions of dollars. And probably they just destroyed their chance of Spider Man 4 joining the $1 billion club because of this title. Now, it still may do good. They might just be using that title as a reference. I think it's still foolish if that's the case, but I don't want to contribute malice where ignorance is at play, and I think that's might be the case here, but I'm not giving Disney the benefit of the doubt because on Blue Sky recently, one of the Marvel editors, he got into tiffs with fans on Blue Sky. For those of you who don't know what Blue Sky is, it's a knockoff Twitter. I have one. Follow me there, I guess. But he got into a tiff with him and he said, "Do you really think I wouldn't do something if I thought it would make me money, if I thought it would make Marvel and Disney money?" Yes, yes, because that's how angry you are at the fans. That's how much you despise us. Disney bought Marvel because they wanted the properties, but they hated the fan base that came with them. And nothing is more clear than them refusing to put Peter Parker and Mary Jane back together, turning Mary Jane into Venom, and then naming Spider Man 4 Brand New Day. That shows just how much they despise you, and you do not owe them any benefit of the doubt when it comes to anything, whether it be movies, novels, comic books, graphic novels, story arcs. You owe them absolutely bupkis. Hey everyone, I have a new website. Check it out. It's studiojakemedia.substack.com. I really hope you head over there and subscribe. I've got even more articles on things like comic books, movies, anime, and so much more. I'm in the process of moving my archive from my original website over to the new one, so you might see some articles that are several years old or movie reviews that I did when the movie first came out. And full disclosure, some of those reviews, whether it be for film, television, anime, or whatever, They might be edited because I wrote like a rookie in my early days, and also some of my opinions have changed over time, so they might look a little different. I'm just giving you that disclosure. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment, tell what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring the little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast. And if you want to support me, become a channel member. You can also head over to my locals community where you can get information on the novels I'm writing, and that's also where I publish my short stories, poems, and articles about writing and the writing process. I've also written 4 novels and I have more on the way, but check them out. I've got the supernatural thriller Cacophony. I've got the sword and sorcery fairy tale based The Seven Royals series. Book 1 is All Good Things. Book 2 is Breaking the Stars. I also have my latest novella, which is a fantasy romance story called Blessed Child. It is my latest one. Oh, and by the way, book 3 of The Seven Royals is on its way. Get 1 or all 4 at Amazon.com. Leave me a 5-star review. I assure you, I do not despise my readers like Marvel despises its fans. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.
Cause I've been living life right like I